All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning somewhere out there in the world. Whoever is watching us today, tonight, this beautiful Thursday evening, we want to join you. We want to have you join us, rather. I'm saying it backwards here because I'm just so excited and I just can't hide it, folks. You know, I bring in all different kind of heroes from all over the world to this beautiful show that's called The Face of a Hero. Well, we have a powerful Shero here today, and you guys got to share this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have obviously Eve Gomez channel and also The Face of a Hero channel, so subscribe to it. You know, that's how we support each other, right? By sharing, sharing, sharing. And what do they say? Sharing is caring. So I hope you care enough to share. But it's not about me, it's about the guests, the heroes, the sheroes that I bring on this show to tell us their story and why they do what they do and how they are being the change that they want to see. Because this young lady right here has certainly been changing lives. I was following her quite a few years ago and I was gravitated to the things that she was teaching. And then I'm looking at her Facebook page and it's like, wow, this is amazing, amazing work. And she's doing this out of the goodness of her heart, folks. She is truly a doctor, a naturopathy that believes in holistic healing. And, you know, it's right up my alley, folks. For those of you that know me, I'm more into holistic healing. I do not like to take drugs, you know, as a prescribed medication. That's just not my game. Real quick before I bring her, because I know she is excited to come on as well to share her story with you all. And she is a Shero. And if you know any hero out there that you feel that their story needs to be shared, by all means, share it with me and say, hey, Eve, we got somebody here that they need to come on your show. That's right. They are a hero. They've done this, they've gone out of their way. And there's a lot of unsung heroes out there that many people may not know our guest today, but I know many people do. And so please share this because I'm excited to bring her up. And let me be quiet. Let me bring her up. She has a story that, you know, she's going to tell you what she does, why she does it, and what got her to be here today. And when I mean today, as in what she does, that she does it nothing but out of her heart. And so here she is. Welcome, Dr. Jeni. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Eve? Thank you for
Oh, I
having
am
me.
just excited and I cannot hide it like that song says. And of course, I want to thank you. I know that you live a very busy life. You have messages, texts, emails galore that I just know that this to me is very valuable. What you bring to the table is so priceless. And I hope that those that are watching this show are taking notes. Grab a piece of paper and pencil or use your telephones into your notes and start taking notes because I'm telling you, she is amazing. You are amazing, Jeni. And it's all about timing, right? We
Mhm.
God is never late. And he's always about his great timing. It's not my timing or your timing. And here we are after a couple years of saying, Dr. Jeni, you need to come on our show. You
Yeah.
need to come and talk to me. You need to tell us what you're doing and why, right? And here we are today, folks. I'm excited. Welcome to the Face of a Hero, and you are our Shero tonight. Thank you again for making time to shine more and on this show. This is your platform. This is the time that you get to talk about you today, where they say give credit where credit is due. And here we are today. Wow.
Oh,
That.
it's been a couple of years, Eve, that we've known each other, and I am honored to be here. And one of my favorite things to do is educate. I have a desire to learn, and I love educating people that have a desire to learn. So I am a board certified naturopathic doctor, but I wasn't always. I was a very unhealthy teenager who made
Mhm,
bad choices, and I thought
mhm.
they were good choices. I was taught that what I was eating was food. I would go to McDonald's and get a healthy option like a breaded grilled
Guilty.
chicken sandwich. Yes.
Guilty. Come on, folks. You raising your hand too?
Yep.
Guilty.
Yep.
You're
So
welcome
there,
to comments, okay? After, I'm sorry, Dr. Jeni. After she's done with her story, we're going to open for Q&A, folks, if that's
mhm,
okay with you, Dr. Jeni.
absolutely. Yes.
And I'm going to put her contact information here. So go ahead. So we're all guilty. We've had McDonald's,
Yep,
okay?
yep.
A
And
delicious
there's no
Big Mac.
shame in what we're doing now. It's what are we going to do with information that we learn and apply, like with anything. Wisdom is knowledge applied. So I want to apply the things that I learn and teach others how to apply what they learn in order to have a better life. And I did eat McDonald's. I ate grilled stuffed burritos, Taco Bell burritos. I thought they were healthy because they were grilled, and I was a tennis athlete. I played very high level competitive tennis. And because I had a good body and because I looked a certain way, I thought I must be really healthy. And I was eating Twinkies and Ho-Hos and salads with ranch dressing and
Oh,
croutons and all
oh,
kinds of
guilty.
different things. Yes.
Back in the day when I was a kid.
That was me. And not only was I eating that, internally, but I was putting things on my skin that I thought were healthy, toxic creams and things that, might have pretty packaging, 7 signs of anti-aging, but it was putting microplastics and chemicals into my body. And I got sicker and sicker. I started having headaches, digestive issues, terrible acne. I started graying around my temples in my early 20s. And eventually, kind of TMI, but my period stopped for 7 months. And my ex-husband said, something is wrong. Go in to the doctor and get it checked out. And I did after 7 months, and I had a pap smear, and it was discovered that I had cervical cancer. And to be diagnosed with cervical
Wow.
cancer in your early 20s, it was like
Wow.
my world was falling apart. I wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail. Wanted to have kids. I wanted to win these certain tennis tournaments. I wanted to finish nursing school. I was in nursing school because I thought you can make a good living as a nurse, you can help people, and you can work anywhere. And for those 3 reasons, I was at nursing school at College of DuPage in Illinois. I had my life sort of planned out, and I was given this death sentence. But I always really liked to learn and apply information that I learned.
Mhm.
And so I began to research ways for me to live. And I found a lot of different things, and I did all of them together. One of them was body alkalization. I learned that by changing the pH, the potential hydrogen in your body, from an acidic to an alkaline state, that you can actually make it scientifically impossible for a tumor to continue to replicate. So a tumor is really interesting. It's not foreign cells. Nothing has invaded us. It's our
Mhm.
own body cells that during the genetic replication process, where there's a parent cell dividing the 2 daughter cells, there's a mutation. And if this
Mhm.
mutation continues over 4 separate generations of division, cytokinesis, then you have a tumor. And that's what was going on in my cervix. And so
Wow.
I had to understand how cancer worked and what it fed off of. And cancer feeds off of acid. And acid forming foods are grains, dairy, sugar, and seed oils. So I removed grains, dairy, sugar, and seed oils from my diet. I also juiced. I water fast. When we water fast, our phagocytes, which are specialized cells in our immune system that eat up all the nasties, that's the scientific way of putting it, they
Mm.
go and eat up the tumors. And anytime we're fasting, literally our body has 80% more energy. So if we have 80% more energy to allocate towards something, the body is going to put it towards what it needs the most. And in my case, it was healing. So anytime we're eating, anytime we're putting something in our mouth and chewing it, 80% of the energy in our whole body is going towards digestion. And if you can reallocate that energy to healing, now your body has 80% more ability to heal. So I alkalized my body. I took out the acid to make it impossible for cancer to grow. And then I water fasted. So my body had 80% more energy to heal. And I juiced also.
Wow.
If you juice, and I juiced and water fasted every other week. And my ex-husband actually was very supportive in this. And when I was juicing removes the fiber from the fruits and vegetables, and it just puts the bioavailable nutrients in it. And juice, when you drink juice, it's metabolized within about 15-20 minutes. A meal takes many hours to metabolize, and that's because the body has to sift
Wow.
through all these things. So I was giving my body so much more energy and changing the environment. And if you change the environment of your body to make it impossible for cancer to grow, think of it as a dandelion. We can cut off the top. That's like chemotherapy. We can cut off the top. That's like radiation. Or we can pull it out at the roots, changing the environment. If we pull the dandelion out at the roots, it can't draw up water. It's going to dehydrate. It can't draw minerals. It's not going to be able to eat, and it can't photosynthesize. It can't draw in energy from the sun to make its own food. That dandelion, you throw it on the driveway, it's going to be dead in literally a couple of hours. And that's what I
Wow.
did to my body. I took medicinal mushrooms. I rebounded to help my lymph move. I did a lot of different things. I was on 14 different supplements, maitake mushrooms and turmeric and pau d'arco and soursop. And I was able to reverse my cancer. And I got a pap smear. And I told my mother that I got a negative pap smear. And she thought I was lying and like secretly dying still, and just telling her that to make her feel better. So she made me book a second appointment at the OBGYN, and she was there with me when my feet were in the stirrups, and I got the
Wow.
second pap smear, and we got the results back, and there were no cancer cells. And
Wow.
at the time in nursing
Praise
school,
God.
yes, I was
Amen.
like, I can't become a nurse. I was working at Elmhurst Extended Care as a certified nursing assistant. I was taking the prerequisites. Like my track was to become an RN and then an MSN and have my schooling paid for. I had all of these goals, and I realized that pills, radiation, and chemotherapy did not help me. In fact, it could have killed me. 57% of people that take chemotherapy are dead within 7 years. And I didn't want to go that route. And that didn't help me to not die. And so I started Googling careers. I looked up acupuncturist, I looked up chiropractor, careers in holistic health. And I found this term that I had never heard of before, and it was a naturopathic doctor. And I saw that naturopathic doctors address people as a whole human being. And that's how Yahweh, God, addresses people as whole human beings in the Bible. He gives us instructions for life and for health and for rest and how to treat each other. And I realized, oh, I want to address people as a whole human being, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually, nutritionally, herbally, their sleep, their environment, biology, everything. It's the whole, holistic. So I dropped out of nursing school and
You're
began
like,
a
forget that. That's not for me.
nope, no more. It didn't help me. And I couldn't see it helping other people also. If pills have side effects, and then
Hmm.
you pay money to have pills with side effects, and then you're still sick now with side effects, and taking the pills and spending your money, that's like a triple lose. Who wants to lose three times? You
I'm
know?
telling you, and it can
Yeah,
get costly, right? And
yeah,
it now, we've all eaten, and some of us still do. Come on, you guys know you're talking to yourselves and saying, "Yeah, that's me. I'm still guilty. We still eat McDonald's. We still eat cancer." Okay, folks.
yeah.
I mean, half the
Mhm.
stuff that we eat on a daily is toxic. Now, you said dairy. You said you left dairy, or talk to us about dairy. What's
I
wrong with dairy?
that's a great question. How long do we have? Let's,
Oh, hey, take as much time. We're going to
okay.
educate ourselves today. And Jenny,
All
thank
right.
you, because I know that it's in your heart and you're loving to educate everyone and anyone that's willing to listen and take note and then do or apply what
Yes.
you're teaching us, right? That's the key.
Absolutely. And really quickly before the dairy, that is a step in. I created a system called the 4 steps of wellness success. The first step is the desire to learn what we were talking about. The second step is obtaining the education, getting educated because you had the desire to learn. We can get education from the library, from a naturopathic doctor, from documentaries, from articles, from talking to other people that have gone through that experience, from college courses, from attending lectures, from reading studies. There's a lot of different ways of educating. And then we, third step of wellness success, implement that information that we learned because we had the desire to learn. And then the fourth step of wellness success is passing it on to the next generation. Tell someone else how to get healthy because you implemented and got healthy, because you obtained the education, because you had the desire to learn. So those are the 4 steps of wellness success. And this is one of the 2 groundbreaking systems that I created for my patients. The other one is called the 3 principles of holistic nutrition. I lecture all around the country about these 2 systems because if someone follows their protocol using these 2 systems, they will get better. You have to follow the framework. So, anyways, dairy.
Yeah, talk
Why?
to us about dairy. I'm going to ask
All
questions.
right.
And
Okay.
audience,
All right.
we're watching some of the chats here, and we're going to be answering questions today. So, dairy, what's
All
up with
right.
that?
So, dairy is really interesting. I had a poster of Venus Williams, the tennis star, when I was in college and high school on my bedroom wall because, and she had the got milk mustache. And I hated the way milk tasted. I thought it was like disgusting, and I hated the idea that it came from a cow's teat. But I would pinch my nose and drink it because I wanted to be a tennis star like Venus Williams. And I thought that it built strong bones. And after reversing my cancer, I learned the dictionary definition of food, because if what I was eating had made me
Did
sick,
you say the
I
definition of food?
the
Oh, we're gonna ask.
definition
I'm
of
gonna
food.
ask the question too.
All
Okay.
right. It's all tied together. It's
Okay.
all holistic.
Guys, we have been lied to, and just continue to listen, and then you'll understand what I mean. Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. You asked really good questions. And the definition of food, I went to the Oxford Dictionary, because the Oxford Dictionary is considered the world dictionary in the English language. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, food is a nutritious substance that maintains life and growth. And actually, the full definition is a nutritious substance that plants absorb or that animals or people eat that maintains life and growth. So we're humans, and the full definition of food, according to humans, is a nutritious substance that maintains life and growth. So food, in order to be food, according to literally the dictionary, this is linguistics, must have two characteristics. First, it must be nutritious. Second, it must maintain life and growth. If a food is scientifically linked to a shorter lifespan or disease, it's not maintaining life and growth. And if it's devoid of nutrition, then it's not nutritious. I looked up that word, nutrients, and us, O-U-S, that means pertaining to in the Greek. So pertaining to nutrition, abounding in, a lot of. So does dairy have a lot of nutrition? And does it maintain life and growth? I looked at the Swedish milk study. This is a really good one, guys. Anyone listening, go read the Swedish milk study. Milk, even one serving a day, is linked to higher overall mortality in men and women. One full serving of milk a day is linked to an 80% risk in breast cancer. Yes, really. How is it food? A quarter cup, that's 2 sips, glug glug, is is directly linked to a 30% higher risk in breast cancer. Milk, the galactose sugars in milk, they're related to sexual cancers, prostate cancer in men, breast cancer in women. The sexual cancers, why is milk related to sexual cancers? It's because of the hormones in the cows. There is no such thing as hormone-free milk. There's artificial hormone-free milk,
Hmm.
RBST, but there is hormones from a cow. And hormones are biochemical messengers. Bio, life, chemical, those are the directions. Messengers, it's like Chinese telephone, it tells you what to do. So our hormones tell our body what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done. What to do, a woman is to menstruate. Where to do it, from our uterus. How much is to be done?
Mm,
Every 28 days for 5 days. If we're given
mm.
false instructions on what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done, now it's like this map, right? If we get bad Google directions, we end up somewhere where we're not supposed to be. We didn't get to our destination. And if our body doesn't get to our destination, it literally is not maintaining life and growth. Hormones tell us not just how to grow physically, but sleeping. They regulate a woman's menstrual cycle, our hair growth, our bones, our muscles, our heartbeat, all hormones. Heartbeat is controlled by TSH, our thyroid hormone, our lungs' ability to breathe. And dairy puts hormones from a cow, and cows are ruminants. They chew grass, they have 4 stomachs, they have hooves, they've got udders, and they moo. They don't sound human to me. So if we're getting the hormones for a
Okay, I'm not drinking milk. I'm not drinking milk.
don't
Oh
do
my
it.
goodness.
I love you. I don't want you to have food that isn't food. And the reason why I call it, and I developed this term a couple years ago, food that isn't food, hashtag, because I wanted to make people think. If you
Yeah.
call something a bad food or a good food, it's actually a misnomer. Either something is food or something is not food by definition. Either something is human or it's not. There's male and there's female, and there's nothing in between. And I use this example, the color orange. I do a lot of presentations, and I use the color orange as an example in these health presentations talking about what food is, because the color orange has yellow in it and it has red in it. Two primary colors mixed together. And if you remove red from orange, you only have yellow. If you remove yellow from orange, you only have red. Orange by nature is holistic. It has two ingredients. And food by nature is holistic. It has two characteristics. It must be nutritious and maintain life and growth. That was one of the articles I wrote for you a few years back at Ethereal magazine. Food must be nutritious and maintain life and growth in order to be food. If it's not full of and abounding in nutrients, and if it's not maintaining human lifespan, and there's way more studies now than the Swedish milk study, there's so many studies, and don't go to universities for studies. There are people involved in fake studies, that whitewash studies. I know a scientist that was
Oh,
involved.
I'm sure that we got some questions on that. Fake
Yep,
studies.
yep.
Real quick,
Fake
I
studies.
have a viewer. You see, he says, "What about goat milk? That's all I drink." We're
That
talking
is
about
such a good question. I get that question a lot. What about goat milk? What about camel milk? What about yak milk? So it is the same principle, goat milk, as with cow's milk. Goat's milk has the hormones for a goat. It's a bad idea. Right?
That's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
milk.
I want
That's
him to
not a
remember
good
that. That's
idea,
why I said
folks.
that
Oh my
joke,
God.
you know? So goat's milk, now we're getting the hormones for a goat. Now we're being told our body what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done according to the directions that Yahweh God gave a goat. And it still acidifies the body. So grains, dairy acidify the body. It's a perfect breeding ground for cancer, diabetes, heart disease, multiple sclerosis, lupus, all of thyroid disease. And I'm a geneticist now, and I study all these different genes that are turned on by eating dairy and grains and turned off when we remove them from the diet. So that's why I call grains and dairy foods that are not foods. We think they're foods, but they're not foods. There's not a bad food. They're a perfect food. Grains are a great food for rodents. Dairy is a perfect food for a baby cow. It's a perfect food to turn a 65-pound bleeding calf into a 2,000-pound adult bovine animal that has hooves and fur and 4 stomachs and horns that moves. It's
Oh
not
my
bad.
gosh. Okay, Jenny, I was born in Mexico, and everything's natural there. There's no preservatives. It's all straight from the cow, straight from the goat. We were milking cows as a child. I was taught how to milk the cow, and now I'm drinking it straight from the cow.
Uh-huh.
I never cared about the goat milk, but my mom used to make cheese from goat milk and or cow milk, and now pasteurized milk from a gallon here in the States. What did we just do to ourselves? What are we doing to ourselves?
With every sip of dairy we take, we're putting in fake directions into our body that is giving us bad directions and what to do, where to do it, and how much to be done. I have had now thousands of patients. I wrote my dissertation on reversing autoimmune disease, and I've never had a patient who has refused to give up grains or dairy ever reverse autoimmune disease, ever. 0%. That's a huge correlation. And I've had a very high percentage, close to 100% of people that give up grains and dairy and follow the rest of their protocol reverse multiple sclerosis, lupus, chronic infertility, and have babies in their 40s. All kinds of autoimmune diseases. So autoimmune is the body is attacking the body. It's like your kid brother going, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?" And
Wow.
in the case of Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the body, our immune system is attacking the thyroid. In the case of multiple sclerosis, the body is attacking our myelin sheaths. And lupus, it's attacking the heart and other organs also. So in autoimmune disease, it's the body attacking the body. And grains and dairy both do something else that's very sinister besides the hormones in dairy, and it's called molecular mimicry. And it's the fact that hormones, or that the molecules, excuse me, in dairy and grains look so similar to our thyroid molecule. It's a case of mistaken identity when they leak through our leaky gut, and everybody has leaky gut. If they're eating grains and dairy, their gut is leaking. No one that is eating grains and dairy does not have a leaky gut because of it's all about the shape of the molecule, the shape of the grain molecule and also the dairy molecule. It looks kind of like Mickey Mouse, where the antigen is in the middle and the 2 protein sequencing is on the end. So picture Mickey Mouse. Okay, that's grains and dairy. And it's this sort of spear shape. And it goes right in between the 1 cell thick layer of our intestines, and it separates our tight junction into a not so tight junction. And it perforates through our intestines. And now these molecules are in our bloodstream. And now our phagocytes go into action. Hey, something is going on. I'm supposed to swallow, eat, and engulf something. That's what God created them to do. But now, because of this sinister case of mistaken identity, our thyroid, actual molecule, our molecules in our thyroid, they also look just like Mickey Mouse with the antigen in the middle and the protein sequencing on either end. And our phagocytes go and swallow and engulf our own thyroid, whittling it away over years instead of swallowing and engulfing the dairy and grains, which then go to wreak havoc in our blood with cross protein reactions and all kinds of things. And the thyroid gets smaller and smaller and it atrophies over years. And the thyroid, I became a thyroid doctor. I was researching the way to help the most people live, and the thyroid controls everything in the body. The thyroid controls our cholesterol deposition. The thyroid controls our heart rate. The thyroid controls our lungs' ability to breathe. The thyroid controls a woman's fertility cycle. The thyroid is directly linked to metabolism. The thyroid controls metabolism for all of our 100 trillion cells. Metabolism. The thyroid controls bone growth. The thyroid controls muscle movement. It produces hormones that tell our body what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done. Eyebrow growth, guys. The thyroid. Hair growth. The thyroid. Cognitive development. Our brains. The thyroid.
Uh-oh. We're in
Temperature,
trouble.
sleep cycles, our mood, our emotions. The thyroid. So you fix the thyroid, you fix a lot of other issues. And I could talk, there's 100 other things it does too. But these are the big things that the thyroid does. And fatigue, that's a thyroid issue. Weight gain is controlled by the thyroid. It's not a gut issue. It's not a issue of anything else, but go to what controls it. The thyroid. There's a gastroenterologist that will tell you one thing and give you a set of pills, a cardiologist that will tell you another and give you a set of pills, a nephrologist that will tell you another and give you another set of pills. Kidney disease is directly linked to thyroid disease. Sleep apnea is directly linked to thyroid disease. You fix the thyroid, it's a trickle down effect. And dairy and grains, molecules in dairy and grains cause molecular mimicry, cause the body to attack the thyroid. That's why they're food that's not food.
Wow, we're just learning so much. Oh my goodness, my brain is like trying to retain all of this amazing, valuable information that I really hope you guys have a pen and paper or your phone next to you and you're taking notes. Please share this video. It is so vital for such a time as this. We are being fed pharma, and pharma keeps getting fatter while we're keeping ourselves very unhealthy because the food we eat, then on top of that, we go to the doctor, they pop a bunch of pills down your throat by saying, you got to take this for that. Now you got to take this for that. And guys, we don't ask many questions, do we? Jenny, let me tell you, when I see a commercial about some type of drug, people don't hear what they say so fast. Like the small print, that's what you need to pay attention to.
Yep.
Oh, and it may cause stroke, heart attack, death. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. When I hear that, no, thank you. So we get some other questions, Dr. Jeni, Brother Miles, okay, Mark. So where do we get a list of the foods that we can eat or the books to live? The food or books to live. Okay. I'm sure you're going to share that. We're going to share your contact information. And then a big shout out to Cheyenne Johnson. She said, you said the thyroid dwindles down once you stop grains and dairy. Will the thyroid heal and regrow or become whole again? Great question.
Oh, those are both great questions. For Miles, he should give me a call. There are certain foods that some populations can eat and some populations can't, and it all depends on genetics. I do genetics testing on every single one of my patients.
And I'm like, what is genetics testing for some of us that don't know the word?
It's no needles. It's a cheek swab, and it goes to my lab, and then I get your complete genetic profile back. And there's certain things that no one should be eating. So there's no's to everyone, all grains, no matter what, all dairy, no matter what, sugar and seed oils. And when I say sugar, I mean sugar that doesn't come from raw fruit. You can have a strawberry if you're able to genetically. So I do genetic testing because some people can or can't have tomatoes or peppers or beans or lentils or potatoes or lemons. There's different nuts, foods that some people can have and some people can't have. So the only way to know is to do a genetics test, and I can help you with that. And then Cheyenne Johnson, that is a patient of mine. She's also a friend. I have seen patients' thyroid actually literally regrow. I've seen it happen twice. In my opinion, it's rare. But once grains and dairy are stopped, the thyroid that you do have left can be optimized. And I've seen patients with 25% of their thyroid left performing at 100% function and have full function of their body. We're resilient. Yahweh designed us that way. We're meant to be
Amen.
resilient. Our body is meant to heal.
Thank
But
you. You're talking my
yeah,
language.
amen.
Our
Yeah, that's
body
right.
is meant to heal itself. You
Yes.
mentioned it was either phototherapy or something to go to that route. And I've been talking about infrared. I've been talking about phototherapy. I've been talking about God created something that will allow us for our body to do what God said to do. It's heal itself, people. And we're going to continue to talk about this, Jenny. I'm feeling that I would love to bring you once a month because I know you're very busy. Hey, give me 30 minutes and I'm just going to, yes, thank you, Jesus. Yes, 30 minutes. Because people are so unhealthy. I'm looking at people that are obese. I am looking at people that that now they have diabetes. I'm looking at people that have cancer. I mean, my mom and dad together, they made me a doctor because of all that I have learned from them and all the medication they were on. That I just said, I am not speaking. You know, when you go to the doctor, they ask you, so what does your family background? What did your mom have? What you did? It's genetics. I don't want to hear that. I'm not speaking that over me. Isn't that we're supposed to speak life and not death, right?
Amen. Yes, yes.
Well,
There's
my mom
power
had
in the
cancer. I made fun of her as a joke. I said, "Mom, you have everything that supposedly," and I'm not speaking that over her, although she's healed now. She's whole. She's no longer suffering. Thank you, Lord. That she had everything ending in apathy, neuropathy, vestibulopathy, radiculopathy. I'm like, oh, my mom, what was
yeah,
up with you? And that's
yeah.
because of the lifestyle that they had. My mom worked to take care of 8 children, worked at home, cooked food, whatever she could to take care of all of us back in Mexico. And then we came to the States, and then it was my dad's turn to support us all. And you're not out there walking, you're not out there smelling whatever fresh air we can get,
Mhm.
But here I'm thinking, Dr. Jenny, that we're eating healthy back in Mexico because none of the food back then had any preservatives. It was all natural, straight from the chicken, the eggs straight from the chicken in the backyard.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
chicken, we boil it, pluck all the feathers, and make some chicken soup. You
yeah.
know,
I agree. I had a homestead. I had a farm in Indiana when I lived there, and we had pasture raised hens who would lay you pasture raised eggs, and it was absolutely delicious. First of all, the yolks were so orange, but the chickens themselves tasted good. And there's things that are food that fit the definition of food, like chicken and egg and beef and carrot and kale and beans and nuts and seeds and raspberries and avocado, you
mm,
know, but there's things that we are taught are food. Maybe they're delicious. Maybe our grandmother fed them to you. Your abuela, she probably fed you corn tortillas, right? Delicioso y sabroso. Todas
handmade,
las
let me tell
comidas
you,
mexicanas, muy excelente,
handmade.
right?
Yes,
So we're
handmade.
used to eating these things because they're part of our culture. In Italy, the Italian grandmothers are feeding, their grandkids pasta. Um, in different countries, it's different things. In Poland, it's pierogies. But just because grandma gives us something, and just because it's delicious, and just because it's sold in the grocery store, and I teach on this a lot, just because those three things may be true, it doesn't scientifically make it food.
Oh,
Linguistically
you're
or
gonna make me cry, Dr. Jenny. So
biologically.
you mean to tell me
Mhm.
here I'm thinking that back in Mexico we were eating healthy, we weren't? Is
It
that what
has
you
be elements of it that, yes, like the chicken and the egg, if you're having
say?
like traditional Mexican foods like cilantro and avocado and tomato and
Right?
chile, and chocolate, and vanilla and all that stuff, yes, absolutely. Papas, frijoles, yes. Todo está
That
bien,
was
muy bien.
healthy. I think
Right,
that we were happy and blessed to have the beans. They were boiled beans. The tortillas, we would soak them inside the juice. There was more juice than beans because,
yeah,
it's 8 of us plus my
yeah,
mom, right?
yeah,
We were blessed to have a chicken once in a while.
yeah.
So those are healthy things, right? But Dr. Jenny, I cannot leave you without you helping me. And those of you that are victims of cholesterol, I don't know how high mine is, but it's not to the point where I need medication, and I want to make sure that I don't. The doctor a year and a half ago said, "Oh, your cholesterol is high," but it's not that high. I said, "Okay, good. What do I need to do? What do I need to stop doing? I want to lower this on my own." They weren't very helpful. Of course, I know why. But I went back and they said, "Okay, well, your numbers went down by 2, whatever you're doing." I don't know what that was that I was doing right or leaving
Yeah.
less up. How can we naturally lower our cholesterol? Folks, you know I'm talking for you too.
Oh, Eve, that's such a great question. First, we have to address the thyroid because the thyroid is what regulates cholesterol. Also, eating the foods that the Bible says are unclean. So I'm a Torah observant Jewish woman. I'm born again, and I follow the biblical dietary laws. So no shrimp. Shrimp is terrible for our bodies. No pork. Pork is horrific. It does so much damage to our thyroid. It does so much damage to our gut. Every time we put something unclean in our mouths, it chips away the health of our endocrine system, and it ages us, and it depletes us of our cognition. So avoid pork, avoid shellfish, avoid the biblically unclean foods, and then address the thyroid naturally. Get a genetics test to find out what exactly are your genes for cholesterol. And once we find out what genes you have, we can plug in the correct epigenetic factor. So there's geneticists and there's epigeneticist. I am a geneticist and an epigeneticist. I look at what is necessary to put into the body and on the body are environmental factors that can actually upregulate or downregulate genes. So epigenetics is the clinical term for lifestyle factors. It's what we eat. It's even how we think. It's even how often we have sex with our spouse. It's being hydrated. It's not having electromagnetic frequencies, not having electronics in the bedroom at night, and it's not doing things like putting nail polish on, putting makeup on our face. All that stuff adds up, and the
I'm
more
glad I don't do that. At least I'm in the plus. I have nothing on my
you have
face.
naturally beautiful skin, and you don't need it. You don't need it. God made
Hey,
time to
they're
live
like,
your
"Eve,
life.
you wear blush."
Yep.
I'm like, "No, it's natural." Forget me trying to not get hot. Oh, everything is all red. But
Us
anyway,
women can be slightly embarrassed all the time. We're good to go, right? And
right.
naturally,
Less
blushing,
on us, right?
yeah. The
So,
more natural
so
we look,
Cheyenne,
the better.
this is what she's saying. I just, we put it. I'm putting up the comments on the screen. So, folks, ask away questions. She says because I'm talking about cholesterol. I love the cholesterol talk. Haha. Stay away from statins. No processed foods. Cut out toxic oils. Well, you're gonna have to tell us what toxic oils and what foods do I need to cut. I am not, God willing, I don't need any, never will I need medication because between my mom and dad, they both were like taking together 20 some pills a day.
Wow. Whoa. That's a
They
lot.
had cholesterol, diabetes, my dad, cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure. And then he had COPD, congestive heart failure. Then he ended up having, towards the end, the last few years, was dementia, Parkinson's. And what did I know about what we know now with you, Dr. Jeni? Like where were you then, right? Um,
I was probably in elementary school waiting to grow up and get cancer so I could learn these things
I'm
and
telling
send that.
you, but I learned so much from them of what not to do. We don't
Mhm.
sit. We live a different lifestyle. I live a different lifestyle. I call it ethereal lifestyle, hence the name of my business, right? Ethereal lifestyle that I am wanting to learn more. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from your page. Guys, if you're watching out there, someone asked, what is the name of your book? Is there a book coming? I'm sorry. Do you have a book?
I've written a couple of books. They're ebooks. They're pretty short. One of
Well,
them is
please tell us.
Beige Foods to Avoid. It's a humorous take on what not to eat. Beige Foods to Avoid. If you would like it, you can call me. I'll give you a copy of it. It's $9. It'll be the best $9 you ever spent. Even if you just eliminate these 8 foods, it'll give you a better life. But Beige Foods to Avoid. I also have written a grain-free, dairy-free, sugar-free holiday cookbook, and then I've written a book on herbalism, monographs of 50 herbs. If you're really interested in the nerdy side of things, but you asked about seed oils. I want to bring it back to that. Seed oils are interesting. There was this low fat craze in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and we were pushed away from saturated fats, which are the fats that our brain needs to think and our heart needs to beat, to these unsaturated fats and these seed oils, things like canola oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil, peanut oil, corn oil, vegetable oil. What even is that? Vegetable oil. And all of those oils, what they do is they literally clog our arteries. They change our
Oh,
balance.
we got to change the oils we have in the kitchen, people.
Oils. It gives us blood, and it changes the balance of omega-3 to 6. This is important, guys. If there's a couple takeaways from this talk, remember this. We need to have an omega-3 to 6 ratio. There's omega-3 fats and there's omega-6 fats of 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. We're eating so many omega-6s that come from plants that are unbalancing our ratio. And omega-3s come from avocado, eggs, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, chia seeds, and omega-6s come from those seed oils. And this causes so much inflammation in the body. And what happens is our cell has a lot of subcellular structures in it. So our cell has a mitochondria, it has an endoplasmic reticulum, it has a Golgi apparatus, it has all these subcellular structures that have specific jobs to do that God created them to do, and they constantly poop. I know that sounds weird. Our subcellular structures are pooping, but they're putting out waste because they're working just like we're working, and we poop every day. We put out waste, right? So now this poop that our subcellular structures have pooped, our cell is so clogged and our cell barrier is not intact, and this poop from our subcellular structures is not able to get outside of the cell into our lymph so it can be detoxified from our bodies. And if it can't be removed from the inside of the cell to the outside of the cell, now all of our receptors are clogged and our cell cannot receive nutrients into the nutrient receptors. Now, if it can't receive nutrients, we could eat all the vitamin D and magnesium in the world, but if we're having grains and dairy and toxic effects from grains and dairy last for months, molecular mimicry goes on for months, leaky gut goes on for months, even having one bite once a week will destroy the gut. So we have to first eliminate inflammation, then we can introduce nutrition so the body can cleanse and then rebuild. And those are the 3 principles of holistic nutrition. I teach this to very successful businessmen all around the country, millionaires and billionaires that are sick, that can't high perform at their job because they're overweight, they're obese, they have brain fog, they're thinking salads is good and they're eating McDonald's once a week. 7 days of salads can't salad away a McCheeseburger. It cannot. We have to first eliminate the inflammation. Then we can introduce the nutrition so the body can cleanse before rebuilding, because then the nutrients can get in the cell. Now the toxic crap inside of the cell that is naturally pooped by our subcellular structures can move outside the cell, and now the cell can become permeable again and nutrients can move in. And it's all about that exchange and movement. When we're stagnant, that's when we're unhealthy.
We sit a lot, us folks that work from home. So Janice Johnson, thank you so much for listening and watching. It says, what about olive oil?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's
You
one.
can have olive oil if it's, you can have it only if it's 4 things. It's got to be these 4 things or you can't have it. It's got to be organic, because olives are sprayed with a ton of pesticides, terrible for the thyroid. The thyroid controls our body. It has to be unfiltered. Once you remove all the good parts of it and put it through the sieve, now it looks clear. That's the stuff sold in the store. It also has to be raw. When you heat olive oil, even above 200 degrees, it rearranges the molecular structure. And olive oil goes from a cancer fighter raw to a cancer feeder cooked. It is all about the chemistry. So olive oil has to be organic. It has to be unfiltered, raw, and non-GMO. And if it's those things, you can have it only if it's raw. Never cook in olive oil. You can cook in beef tallow. You can cook in coconut oil, saturated fat. Saturated fats are good for us. You can cook in avocado oil. Saturated fats are good. It's not the BS that we learned years ago and decades ago where saturated fats are bad. Saturated fats build our brains. You take away saturated fats, you take away the vitamins necessary to build our hormones. I've had so many sick vegans. Veganism is a cult, guys. I've helped a lot of people leave veganism.
Thank you. I was going to say, what about those vegans?
No, they're sick. They're sick and they're frail and they're always sick, and they have terrible levels of vitamin D, carnitine, and magnesium. Their omega-3 to 6 ratios are all off and they get sick and they all have cause. I'm much healthier than any vegan that's ever been a patient, and I meet every day or almost every day. Fruits and vegetables, yes, and meat, yes. It's about balance. We really need both. Going carnivore isn't healthy either. Eating only meat, we need the fruits and vegetables for cleansing properties and antioxidants and enzymes. And then we need meat for protein and for vitamins and for minerals. There's vitamins and minerals in plants as well, different vitamins and minerals. Yeah. So no veganism, no carnivorism. We need everything. And seed oils, bad. Oils to cook in, you can cook in beef tallow. You can cook in, us Jews, we call it schmutz. It's chicken grease. It's just rendered chicken fat. You can cook in coconut oil. You can cook in macadamia nut oil is a great saturated fat. We want a saturated fat because the saturated fats have a higher smoke point and they will not rearrange their molecular once heated, going from a
Okay.
cancer fighter to a cancer feeder because it's all about the chemistry.
Wow. You froze for like 5 seconds, but I think we caught up
Oh,
towards the tail
okay.
end of
All
it.
right.
Guys, this is a lot of information in very short time. Yes, I'm bringing her back for those that are asking, because I'm not sharing all the comments that are showing here, because there's so much that she is willing to teach. But by all means, go follow her on her amazing Facebook page. Let's get her to 100,000 in this next month. Okay, we can do it. For those of you that are watching, subscribe to the channel, my YouTube channel, The Face of a Hero, because I'm always bringing solutions. It's not about me, it's about what's in me that needs to be shared with you. And if I know it, I'm sharing it. And this Shero here, Dr. Jeni Horvat Weis, is actually sharing so much because she cares about life. She cares about each and every one of you. She has an amazing Facebook page. It's getting close to 24,000 people. We're following her also on her other Facebook page. But what is the name of that Facebook page for those that are listening so that they can go and like it and follow you?
It's called Horvat Holistic Health. Horvat Holistic Health. And we named it that because I recently got married to my husband in October. And it's really interesting because he was a patient and he reversed his health issues. And he was a social worker and he stopped working as a social worker and is now going back to school to become a holistic health practitioner. And we
Awesome.
started a business together, Horvat Holistic Health, and he wanted to join me in our message that is now, which is sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, and how to really live healthfully the Bible way. And we've seen so much illness reverse. It is incredible. But I wanted to honor my husband, who has even helped in giving me wise counsel. So Horvat Holistic Health. And we just got married this last October. You're welcome to join the Facebook page.
Yeah.
We're going to have some
Do it.
exciting things coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know what's in that page, let me tell you, all those people have questions and they help each other out. If Dr. Jeni isn't quick enough to respond, there's about 5, 10, 20 responding because they're also learning. What do
Yeah.
I do? What is this rash? What does this look like? What do I put on? Or my child is going through this and what do we put on? What is best? What is more natural? So speaking of, let me go back. I'm sorry, I'm still dumbfounded with this milk thing. What about babies that are now off the formula or even formula isn't even good? What milk? What should they give them? Doctors tell them give them vitamin D, whole milk. I'm
The best
dumbfounded. I'm sorry. I'm just
It's
speechless.
okay. It's a good, really good, intelligent question, Eve. And I've got asked a lot of that similar questions in Holistic Health Circle and by my patients. What about babies? So when they're young, breast milk is best milk because breast milk has the correct hormones for a human, what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done. It has the correct percentage of macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Cow's milk has about 4 times as much protein as human milk. It's terrible on a newborn kidneys. And when a newborn is weaned from milk, the best thing to put them on is fruits, vegetables, meats, nuts, seeds, and water. That's what they need. So there's no kind of milk that is a healthy milk that comes from a mammal's mammary glands because then those babies are getting the instructions for another species of animal, what to do, where to do it, and how much is to be done. And that's why we have young girls, 5, 10 years old, developing breasts. In the 1800s, a girl didn't
All
develop
those
breasts
hormones,
until
right?
14. You know, It's because it's a cow. They're getting cow information. Cows have those big giant udders. There's people around now with, and I'm not being disrespectful, boobs that are a size M and an N and a Z. The
I didn't
giant,
even know they existed. Okay.
and it's from drinking cow's milk. Now we have feet the size
This
of
is
cows. I'm being serious. I know we're laughing, but
Dr.
it's
Jeni. Look, we got about another 10 minutes. Let's your husband doesn't mind you staying a little longer, but let me tell you, I have family that own cattle. Okay. One of them has a contract with Nestle. Okay. And that's to make chocolate. So are we talking bad about those people that have the cattle? I'm sorry. Wait, here I am saying, let's go to Fair Oaks. Let's go to the dairy farms because, oh my goodness, their grilled cheese just melts in your mouth. And then the ice cream. And yeah, are we doing wrong?
Well,
You're the
the
expert.
food that
I know nothing.
isn't food melts in your mouth, and it's about, so our brains have a feature called neuroplasticity. We're able to teach a new dog old tricks, right? So we can reform pathways in our brain. We can reform pathways in our brain. We're a new dog, right? We're a new creation in Yeshua if we're born again, and we're learning old tricks. That's my spin on the phrase. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can teach a new dog old tricks, things that our ancestors did for years. They ate saturated fats. They grew their own food. They ate nuts and berries and beef and all these things. And if they did have dairy, it was a very small amount, and it was a luxury, and it was homemade, and it wasn't homogenized and grain fed and all this garbage that's been done to it and pumped full of hormones and RBST and genetically modified and selectively bred for large musculature. It was literally a different animal 1,000 years ago, So we are learning together, and
Yes,
wisdom
we
is
are.
all.
Oh, we
So if
just
we
read
learn
a whole
information, we
book.
got to apply it.
Yeah, we just read a whole book today. And listening to what Dr. Jeni is asking us, um, do you have any suggestion for the busy professional? People, if you may say, what is she looking at? It's called multitasking. I also have people that are texting because they're watching but can't comment for whatever reason. But question is, for the busy professional, who would you like to start meal prepping? I'm sorry, let me see if I'm reading this one. Do you have any suggestions for the busy professional who would like to start meal prepping? Okay, there you go. That's the question.
Yes, yeah. For the busy professional that wants to start meal prepping, start simple. Pick one day a week and set aside 2 hours. Sunday is a great day to do it. Don't do it on the Sabbath. That's the Lord's day. You'll be blessed. Actually, Sabbath keepers live on an average 12 years longer. That's in the Bible.
All
It
right.
tells us to rest on the Sabbath. And now research shows, modern research confirms the Bible, that if you keep the Sabbath, you'll live an average 12 years longer. So pick a good day like Sunday to meal prep. And what you can do is pick one meat and 3 vegetables. Keep it really simple. The vegetables could be carrots, green beans, and broccoli. It could be onions, peppers, and mushrooms. It could be whatever veggies you like. And then pick one meat. The meat can be grass-fed beef. It can be chicken. It can be a wild-caught fish. It can be turkey. It can be lamb. It can be goat. It can be, venison if you like. It could be tuna. Season everything. So cut everything up into 1-inch squares. Everything, the meat and the veggies. Season everything with, I call this mixture, you probably remember it, Eve, SPG. It's salt, pepper, and garlic. I've been promoting SPG for years, guys. Anybody can make SPG. 1/3 salt, 1/3 cracked black pepper, 1/3 garlic. It tastes so good on anything. Make sure the salt is not iodized, a real salt like Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or Baja Gold or Redmond's real salt. Season everything with salt and pepper and garlic, the proteins and the veggies. Toss them all together with a small amount of avocado oil or a small amount of coconut oil, and sheet pan bake them. And then what you do is when it comes out, put it in glass containers every day for the week. Put 5 of them, this is important, busy professional, put 5 of them in the freezer because food will spoil if you prep it 7 days in advance in the fridge. And keep 2 in the fridge that are always thawed out. And all you do is you take it out every day and stick it in the oven. Don't put it in the microwaves. Microwaves cause cancer. They cook food with radiation, the same thing that gives us radiation poisoning and kills us, the same thing that killed people in Hiroshima when the bomb was dropped. Never use a microwave. I haven't used a microwave now in 15 years, guys. Using a microwave, this is another nugget to take away. I call these
Guilty.
Weiss nuggets. I call them Weiss nuggets, like Weiss words of wisdom. Don't use a microwave because the microwave, it seems so convenient, but it's not convenient for our body's health. It just takes 10 minutes in a 400-degree oven to heat up something in a small glass container. And so that busy professional, 1 meat and 3 veggies, and season everything with salt, pepper, and garlic. Now, what you can do is if you want it, say, flavor like Chinese food, you can add Szechuan peppercorn to the salt, pepper, garlic, and ginger to it. If you like it
Add a
Mexican
little
flavor,
better flavor to it, right?
right? You can add different flavors. You could put cilantro and lime in it, in cumin. If you like it Middle Eastern flavored, you could put mint and saffron, but always start with that salt, pepper, garlic base. Choose 3 vegetables, cut them into pieces. I really love the combination of zucchini, mushrooms, and peppers. It's vibrant, it's bright, it's beautiful. Do any 3 vegetables you like. You could do asparagus, mushrooms, and onions. You could do whole cloves of garlic and Brussels sprouts and asparagus. It doesn't, it's whatever you like. It could be pea pods, it could be cauliflower, it could be broccoli. And you just have these 3 vegetables, and you make your seasoning once a year, your big thing of salt, pepper, and garlic, and you put a tablespoon on everything, and you cut up your chunks of chicken and beef, whatever you do, you toss it all together, you put it in a sheet pan. Now you have all your meals for the week. Every week, switch up the vegetables, switch up the meat, switch up the seasonings, but it's the same concept. And you put it into glass containers,
Mhm.
and you take two every, when you use up two, move two from the freezer to the fridge, and now you have that. I have helped high performance real estate professionals that don't know how to eat healthy with this. It could taste like anything. It could be Italian style. With the SPG, you can do Brussels sprouts and celery and carrots, and then you could put
Mm,
basil and oregano on it. You could
mm,
add whatever you like. You can make it the style of any country you want by switching up the seasonings, switching up the veggies, and switching up the meat, but the same formula. It can be made a million different ways, and it's good, and it's quick, and it's easy, and it will save you money, and it will save you time going through the drive-through, and it will save your waistline, and it can save your life. No joke.
wow. You are saving some lives just from being here today, Dr. Jeni. And I have put her contact information there, guys. Set up an appointment, become her patient. Now, some may be asking, and I'm just going to ask, and if they're not asking here on the comments, because I'm reading the comments on my phone and on the computer, is this a cash base only? Besides them calling you and set up an appointment, how does that work for those that are listening? Look, believe me, just going to that Facebook page, you're going to learn a lot, but
Mhm.
she will customize what you need based on what you need, right?
Yes,
um
yeah, that's
genetic
exactly
testing,
right.
she
Yeah.
said. So how do we go about getting a genetics testing? I mean, you're not like
Well,
everywhere in the country, but you are virtually obviously everywhere in the world.
yeah, I have patients. I have had patients from Bolivia, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Mexico, Argentina, South Africa. Anyone is welcome to become a patient if they have the desire to learn. If they have the desire to learn, which is the first step of the 4 steps of wellness success, I have the desire to teach them. And my passion is saving lives. That's, I believe, why I was put here, and to witness and share the gospel. So if they want to become a patient, reach out to me, call that number, and we'll talk about what becoming a patient looks like. There's some onboarding materials, there's the genetics test. Insurance does not cover me. They don't like naturopathic doctors. I do take cash. I take HSAs, health savings accounts. I take credit card. That's kind of is what it is, because you could take 1 round of chemotherapy and it's $100,000, and someone has a 57% chance of dying within seven
Or
years,
stem cells,
or
come
you
on,
get a custom
that's another,
protocol that,
yeah,
yep,
another expensive treatment, right? Stem cells.
it's expensive and ridiculous. And, so I cost less, and results are life changing, actually. And it's customized to that person. And I pray with all my patients. I love my patients. So it's very Bible based. It's biblical clean. Everything is within Torah. And I really love and care about my patients, and it's customized to them. It's the correct nutrition for their genetics, the correct herbs for their genetics. Lavender can be beneficial for someone and terrible for someone else. We need to do a genetics test. Then once we do the genetics test, I plug in the correct epigenetics factors for your genetics with the goal of addressing your health concerns naturally. So I see a maximum of 3 patients a day, just because I'm so busy educating and doing a lot there. And there's a lot that goes into my patients, but I am accepting patients. I work 6 days a week. I work every day but the Sabbath. And if you're interested in becoming a patient, getting interviewed for becoming a patient, I listen to you first. I listen to what your health goals are. I hear your story, what's important to you, what you have been through at the hands of physicians. I listen to your symptoms. I believe you. If you tell me something, I believe you. If you say you have heart palpitations, I don't tell you calm down, it's no big deal, or take deep breaths. I look to what regulates the heart. What can we do about it? I'm an actionable doctor, so I care about your health, and I know that you're paying for me, and I took an oath. I want to do no harm, and if you're paying me to feel better, I don't want you to still be sick in 10 years and still go to the same doctor. If you're still going to the same doctor 5.
And it's not working. Okay, Dr. Jeni froze up a little bit right now. I know that she's Dr. Jeni, you froze. Are you
Oh
there?
no, I know.
Okay. So here's the $1 million question
Okay,
because
can you hear me
it's
now?
a cash basis. Yes. Mark says, so how much does this visit cost? Is it a per visit, per session? Is it per year? How does that work?
It is, so it's an absolute flat fee. It's $327 for an intake appointment. An intake appointment is 2 hours, and it's $227 for each follow-up appointment. Those are my fees. There's no packages, at least, right now I've done packages in the past, and this is just the best way to go. And everybody pays the same price. There's no discounts. I don't know any other board certified naturopathic doctor that even charges this price. Many are
Right.
hundreds more an hour, and it's because it's a ministry. So it's 227 for each follow-up. All appointments are 227, and definitely they're 227, except your first appointment, which is 327, because that's an intake, and a lot goes into that.
Well, he says that's a great price.
It
Many
is.
times we put a price to our life, to our health, but it doesn't matter how much they charge us to do our nails. For me, it does. It doesn't matter what they charge to do our hair or put our hair on or whatever. For me, it does. Because I rather invest in my health.
Amen. Hmm.
Because let me tell you, folks, if you invest in your health, your nails will be healthier and so will your hair and
Yes.
your skin.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So let's go holistic, guys. We're at the hour and 2 minutes, Dr. Jeni. You tell me if you want to come on a little long, stay on a little longer, or bring you back. What I would like to do is, for those that are watching, that have already been working with Dr. Jeni, that are already patients of her, I'd love to bring you on to this chat as well, to this podcast, along with Dr. Jeni. Oh, there you go. I was going to ask.
This
He
is
must have read
this
my
is
mind.
my this is my husband.
Hello there, Chris. How are you?
Good, good.
Here's one patient already. See, I
This
ask
is
and you shall
this is
receive.
my patient that I'm in love with, Christopher.
Yeah,
And,
he's your patient forever.
he's my patient forever. Yeah, he has blessed my
And you
whole
know what?
life.
That's what I was gonna say. Hey, let's do this. Let's bring some witnesses because they're your patients that know that how you have helped cure whatever was wrong with them, multiple sclerosis or lupus. I know personally friends that I love that go through these treatments and infusions and stem cell injections because they have lupus, because they have MS, because they have this. They need to talk to you.
And
Seriously.
I legally can't say the word cure. I can say we address symptoms
We
at the root.
address the issue,
Yes,
holistically speaking. I'm
that's
sorry, I
right.
should know this.
It's okay.
X39 does
It's
not
okay.
cure, does not heal. Your
Right.
body's doing it all on its own with just the few things that you're being taught to do. There you go.
And
I'm politically correct now. Okay.
well, that's why he chose. Why don't you talk a little bit about
Yeah,
your
come on,
story? And
Chris.
my husband, he chose to stop his job in social work and to become a holistic health practitioner to
Let's hear
join
it.
what is now our practice. And you want to
Everybody,
say a
let's
little bit?
welcome, let's welcome Chris or Christopher Horvat.
Yeah,
And he is the other whole because we don't believe in halves. We are
Amen.
wholes.
Yes.
Okay. And he's now another part of the solution with Dr. Jeni.
yes, yes. So when I met Jenny and she started talking about health, I was having some gut issues. I had a lot of gut inflammation. I quit dairy and grains, and it was like turning on a light switch, or turning one off, because within 48 hours my inflammation went way down. I mean,
Did you
it
say in
was
48 hours?
48 hours. It was
That's
very
awesome.
noticeable. Um, yeah.
Wow.
And there's ups and downs with all these things. Sometimes one day you're better. Um, because you can have stressful days and you can go to bed late one night or something. There can be all sorts of things. Um, but wow, um, it was noticeably better. Um, but I worked in social work, and one of the things that they want to tell you is that you need to leave your own biases behind. Well, the problem is, if you believe in absolute truth, then you're put in a situation where you are legally obligated to lie to people. I believe that there's a creator God, and I believe that He told us the truth, and that we should speak the truth always. I feel an obligation to tell people the truth, and so I was involved in helping people that were suicidal, uh, and I believe one of the things they really needed to know was that there's a creator God that loves them, and that He provided instructions on how to live an abundant, wonderful life. And if we don't follow His instructions, we can't expect to have a wonderful life. We can expect, it's just like if you were, it's just like if you had a creator of the user manual for your vehicle, and you just decided that the guy who designed the thing and built it was not intelligent, and you're going to do it your own way.
Mm.
You can't expect to have good results. You start putting water in the gas tank, it's not going to go well. It's not going to run.
Right.
Um, we, Human beings have a designer. I believe that. I believe that's part of what Jenny's been doing here is
Yes.
leading people back into good relationship, and that's been the passion of my life. The passion of my life is to help people reconnect. People need to reconnect with one another, and it's part of my story. Is that I spent, I was an intelligent person. My eldest brother was the valedictorian of his class. I didn't get as great grades as him, but I spent a lot of times on screens, and not connecting with people. And I know there's a lot of people like me, who are disconnected. They're disconnected from their parents, from their friends, from their brothers. They're lonely, very lonely people. A lot of hurting people out there. Uh, Part of my story is, before I met Jenny, I gave up gaming, I gave up television, and I started reading the Bible, and I got to know the Creator God. I know that He loves us. I know that He loves them.
Amen.
And part of what they need to get right is to get to know the Creator God who loves them so much that He wants to have a relationship with them, and wrote His instructions, and wrote about His love, so that we can know who He is
Come on.
in the Word of God, in the Bible. And that's what I want to help people to do. And I also believe that He's given us good instruction for every area of life, not just for not just for relationships, but also in regards to what we're supposed to put in our mouth, what we're supposed to think about. That stuff really matters.
It sure
There's
does.
a lot of garbage out there. There's garbage thoughts that you can have.
Yeah.
That garbage things that you can meditate on. The television is full of it.
Oh,
It's absolutely full of garbage. And if you put the wrong things in your brain, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be absolutely miserable. And we can open up the Bible, and we can we can literally interact with the divine. There's a very real spiritual world out there. A
yeah,
lot of people are really suffering and are tormented,
very
um,
much.
and they need to reconnect with their Creator.
Yes, they
And
do. And
I
that's
help
where it all.
people with that with Jenny, and it's such a privilege to do it. So
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because that is so true. That's where the beginning, that's where it all started, right? And that's where we all come from. So we just need to connect back. For those of you that are feeling lost, confused, depressed, suffering from anxiety, the
Yeah.
answer is already there. Just open up that book. And if you don't understand it, that's why we have Bible studies in places to learn how to break it down, to dummy it down, to understand. They had the English version so that we can dummy it down to layman's terms to understand the word, because that is the only truth. Same
Amen.
yesterday,
Yeah.
today, and forever.
Amen.
And so, you know, as we were saying earlier before we got on, Dr. Jenny, is people are so quick to rather believe a lie than to believe the truth. So
Right.
much easier. Yes, there's work to be done, folks. There's work to be done in how to retrain our brain. I know I did. I had to. I wasn't like this 20, 30 years ago. The things that I've done to myself, because people, when you do things to others, you're only hurting yourself, okay? You're only hurting yourself.
That's
Is
right.
that you need to stop, you need to be careful what you, as you said, Chris, what you put here, what you put here in your heart, because hurt people,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and heal people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And empowering and not empowered people empower people, and that's what we're here to do, folks. Chris, thank you so much for sharing part of your testimony as well.
Yes. Yes.
First, you started
So
out, you know, it was all God's. I think the path was already there. You just had to catch up, you know. And here you are together. So I'm
Yeah.
believing that that's what happened there. But I'm glad you both caught up, and now you're going to be, or are, should I say, we're going to speak those things that are a powerhouse, a power couple, that you're going to continue to help others, because mental health is so prevalent that we're allowing things to come here and believe it and hit here. And now we're all messed up. We're all discombobulated and all twisted up inside. And instead of, this world is so dirty and so dark that everybody's looking from the outside in, we have to continue to look from the inside out. And I'm going to continue to say it. I know you both are. We have to look from the inside out. How can we fix ourselves? Quit trying to fix the world, fix
Mhm.
government, fix, no, you got to fix you
We have to
first.
take the log out of our own eye before we
Thank
can even
you.
help to remove the speck from our brother's eye, the Bible says. You know, and health
Exactly.
starts at home. It's what we put in our mouth, but also what we put on our skin and what we don't put on our skin and what we view on the television and on screens and how we think about ourselves, God, other people, even the clothes we wear. It's a whole thing. It really
Mhm.
is
It
holistic.
is.
Holistic is
It is.
the whole picture. I Another system is that I created is the twofold approach to holistic health. It's that our whole body is connected and that our whole life is connected. And we can talk about that another
Yes.
interview.
On
But
another
yeah,
episode. Thank
yeah,
you both. I love you. Thank you for coming on the Face of a Hero. For those that are just chiming in, you can always go back and replay, subscribe to the channel, share it, share it, share it, because this information, you would pay through your insurance a lot of money, and then you got a copay, and then you got a deductible, and so it's going to cost you more for what you're listening to others, instead of doing it the holistic way, the righteous way. So thank you, Dr. Jenny. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. You know, it happens when it was meant to happen.
that's right.
It
Yeah,
wasn't meant to
thank you for
happen then.
having us. Thank you.
And here's more too coming here on the Face of a Hero. Dr. Jenny, don't go anywhere. We're going to put you backstage. And thank you once again, guys. Have a blessed evening. Thank you for this vital and very, very, very important information that people need to hear. It's called
You're
truth.
welcome. Yeah.
Shalom. Thank you so much.
Shalom. Shalom.
Yes,
Shalom.
thank you. Wow, you guys have that information before I take it off the screen. How to reach her. She's amazing. She's a powerhouse. And on that Facebook page, you will find so many things natural that you can do to help heal your body. Your own body is meant to heal itself, people. You guys, X39, you guys heard me talk about it. It's back here on the back of my neck, C7. And that is the holistic way, the naturopathic way, the way Yahweh says, because we need to stop putting all that toxic in us. Sodas, pop. I'm not a pop drinker. I'll drink it maybe once a month, if that. It's not healthy. We're walking like a cancer, a virus, because everything we eat can cause cancer, unfortunately, but it's true. So let's continue to be truthful to ourselves, not lie because we lie to ourselves. Be careful what we put in our mouth, what we put in our minds, and our spirit and our body. So it all works together. With that, thank you so much again. for joining here tonight on The Face of a Hero. If you know of any hero or shero, please, and you'd like for them to share their story here, contact me, text me, 219-262-7009, and I will respond. With that, guys, I got to go. I got places to go, people to see, and a lot of things to do. Peace to you. God bless you. Thank you once again for joining. And of course, it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until next time. Nos vemos. Have a good night. Be safe and be blessed. Love you. And guess what? Don't forget Sunday also. That's Real Talk with EVE. See ya.